Hey, let me tell you something, all right? Let me tell you something. Now, granted, we don't need to talk about the remainder of WrestleMania 41 and the entirety of the show. I just want to talk about the main event. We're going to talk about the show later tonight on Twitch and streaming on YouTube. But first and foremost, congratulations to John Cena getting his 17th WWE Championship run. But I got a couple of doggone questions because I thought this was a terrible executed main event. And I could already hear the individuals in the comment section right now. Well, you don't understand. You didn't listen to John Cena's promo when he came back. He said you get nothing. He's here to ruin professional wrestling.
I am going to ruin wrestling.
He's talking about his performance. He's not talking about the storyline and the booking of how he makes it to this point. Let's call it what it is. Last year, WrestleMania 40 was one of the greatest builds to WrestleMania in the history of the company. Furthermore, it was one of the greatest builds to a main event that we have seen in the history of the company, culminating in Cody Rhodes finally finishing the story with one of the greatest main events in WrestleMania history. This year's build to WrestleMania 41, the totality of the show, but primarily the main event, weak. John Cena pulls off what should have been, if not is, the greatest heel turn in the history of WWE. Not the totality of professional wrestling, but the history of WWE. And if it's not number one for you, it's probably top three, if not top two. One way or another, you have him sell his soul to The Rock. We have yet to see The Rock since the Elimination Chamber. And I understand, well, he's on the board, so he could come and go as he likes. He didn't even acknowledge what transpired on Elimination Chamber since, the weekend of the Elimination Chamber? We had 8 weeks from Elimination Chamber. No, pardon me. I believe it was about 7 weeks. It could be 8. Between 7 and 8 weeks from the Elimination Chamber to WrestleMania 41. We heard 0 from The Rock. Last year, even when he wasn't able to make it to the show, you saw Instagram posts where he was targeting Cody Rhodes, albeit he had a match, but one way or another, you were involved in one of the greatest heel turns in the history of the business, and 0. We didn't hear a peep from you. We saw more appearances from Travis Scott with his appearance last night than we saw from The Rock. Makes absolutely no sense. Furthermore, John Cena had only appeared 4 times in the 8 weeks leading into WrestleMania 41. We got physicality on 2 different occasions? It was nothing but a promo battle. Now, I understand, John Cena's up there in age. Furthermore, this is his farewell tour. He's not fixing to be wrestling on routine Raws or SmackDowns or whatever the case just so happens to be. But in the midst of all of that, did it further the story? Not really. Outside of just a promo in which he said he's turning on the people, he cut that promo on that international, or I should say European, whatever the case, I believe it was Belgian, child that just so happened to be there that was able to go and get reshared. Outside of that doggone moment and him saying he's here to ruin professional wrestling, what further part of the story did we get? Granted, it was an international audience, so when they were booing John Cena, you never really got a chance to gauge how the audience was taking the heel turn, with the exception of the Friday Night SmackDown this past Friday when they were in the States, and they were cheering Cena. So technically, let's call it what it is, the people ain't ready to boo John Cena. You may want to try because he's a heel, but the people ain't ready to boo John Cena. It's a failed heel run up until the championship victory. Because call it what it is, the chase for Cena to get 17 would have been much better than the title reign if this is the way that they're going to book it moving forward. Now, we don't know how many dates is already established for Cena moving forward, but it makes no sense how they booked the main event. Because again, like I stated, you can say, well, John Cena said he's here to ruin professional wrestling. John Cena said you get nothing. No new t-shirts, no new music, no new sort of style of a character. He's gonna give you absolutely nothing, but he's talking solely about him. What was the purpose of having Travis Scott come out in the main event? We all expected for him to receive a receipt from Cody Rhodes. Man's music hit. It took him 3 minutes to make it down to the ring. It's a one-on-one match. The music hit, he goes up and gets a dap from John Cena. That now acknowledges the two of them are there in cahoots. The referee is watching this happen. Then Travis Scott proceeds to pull the referee out of the ring after Cody Rhodes hits the crossroads. There's no way in Hades that the referee doesn't know it's Travis Scott who pulled him out the doggone ring. Now, granted, I said it should have been a DQ because we've seen people get DQ'd for less. Even still, the referee should have thrown Travis Scott out of the arena. But unfortunately, by the time he made it back inside the ring, it was time for the doggone cover. But one way or another, you knew it was Travis Scott who done pulled you out the doggone ring, because it clearly wasn't John Cena. He was in front of you, down, staring at the lights, looking for the 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes was having the cover. What the hell's the referee doing? Makes no sense, right? And then afterwards, the receipt was Travis Scott catching a crossroads. Then 2.5 minutes later, he's standing in the middle of the ring, arms suspended in the air, next to John Cena, the new 17-time WWE champion. Man's barely sold the motherfucking crossroads. You bloodied Cody Rhodes, bruised Cody Rhodes, left a shiner, black eye on Cody Rhodes, hitting him in the face with the doggone Rolex at the Elimination Chamber. And all we got was one crossroads, no blood on Travis Scott. This man, you might as well not even call that a receipt, because Cody didn't even really lay it in. We thought we were gonna see so much more. And again, this isn't about when Cena said he's here to ruin professional wrestling, because that is solely on John Cena and his performance, not the totality of the booking. They went about this entire situation wrong. Now, granted, I'll give you a devil's advocate. The championship run from Cena could possibly be what is making this entire totality of the story great. But that's yet to be seen. That's just pure speculation, because today on Pat McAfee, John Cena went out there and said he's going to be the last WWE champion, undisputed WWE champion at that, to where they're going to have to retire that belt, because he's going to leave professional wrestling with it in December, and they're going to have to create and, make a brand new title in order to start a brand new legacy. If indeed that's the game plan and that's where we're going to go, that's all well and good. But we got to call a spade a spade. Last night's main event was absolute ass. Especially in comparison, and I understand comparison is the thief of joy, but especially after what we saw last year, what was absolute cinema. And I know you want to piss off the people. I understand you want to, really sell John Cena's heel run, have him win in that kind of fashion in order to get motherfuckers like me and the countless thousands, hundreds of thousands of you guys who are probably upset. And there's a grandiose amount of people who's probably happy as well. But one way or another, I know they're probably trying to go and get a reaction from folks, but we can't sit here and make it seem as if this was some all-time moment where you enjoyed every single second, because you're lying to yourself. Even the biggest John Cena fan can tell you that. The match pace was substantially slow. I thought it was going to start off slow, then build up as time goes. Granted, we don't expect John Cena to be moving like he did during those U.S. Championship Open challenges in 2015. I don't expect that man to be moving like it's 10 years earlier. But my God, the pacing was completely off. The chemistry was there to a degree, but they didn't really do too much to make you feel during the match. And then the moment that Travis Scott came out, the final 10 minutes was absolute ass. Because what transpired? Travis Scott, 3 minutes to make it to the ring. You got the crossroads from Cody Rhodes onto John Cena. Travis Scott then pulls the referee out of the ring. Referee struggling to go and get, a second win to be able to get back into the ring. Then all of a sudden, Travis Scott goes and gets his crossroads. He's then removed from the ring. Cena trying to go and hit Cody with the WWE Championship. Cody able to counter, get his hands on the title. Cena pleads with Cody. Cody's dumbass, for whatever reason, rather than hitting John Cena because he wants to be the babyface of all babyfaces, decides to let his guard down. Cena kicks Cody in the dick, picks up the damn championship, hits Cody across the doggone face. Cody lays there staring at the lights like motherfucking Booker T after catching a pedigree in 2003, and some 20-some seconds later, 1, 2, 3, new champion? Are you kidding me? And we're supposed to sit here and make it seem as if this year's WrestleMania main event was spectacular? It's subpar at best. And we got robbed of an all-time moment. And again, I hate the fact that I gotta constantly reiterate, regurgitate, and reverberate the exact same said sentiment regarding John Cena saying you get nothing. But this was the wrong way to go about it, because it just leaves a complete sour taste in your mouth, because we sat here the whole time and this is it? That's how Cody lose? Really? After you built this man for this long, this how he lose? They better pull on or put out an all-time classic championship run from John Cena to where the story, I don't give a damn for the most part on the matches. They better make sure the story makes sense, because we're gonna sit here and talk about, well, we're gonna have John Cena booked as a classic heel from the 1970s and 1980s where you're not gonna get too much. You're gonna rile up the fans. The people are gonna constantly be upset. That's all well and good, but we in 2025. It's going to be very difficult to try to do something like that and still want to put butts in seats. Granted, we can get into the situation where it's like somewhat of the Floyd Mayweather effect, where you want to pay to see him lose because you love to hate him. I don't think the people is ready for that kind of feeling towards John Cena. We better get a motherfucking promo of some proportion throughout now, or Monday Night Raw tonight, and SmackDown on Friday that gives us some form of explanation for what the hell it is that we done saw. And furthermore, mans better be active every single month, numerous times throughout the doggone month. I ain't telling you to have numerous matches, open challenges every single Raw or SmackDown, but we got to at least see Cena at least twice, if not 3 times out of the month. Every single month, if he's going to hold the title until the end of the year. Because I'm telling you right now, if motherfucker is out here looking like a part-time Brock Lesnar when he was Universal Champion, this whole shit is going to the ground. What are we doing, son? He wins the main event like this, and motherfuckers are sitting over here talking about it makes sense because Cena said that's what we're gonna get. They booked this shit like trash. It's as if they just threw the entire story together. And finally, I'm gonna close with this. To The Rock, I never want to see The Rock come back into the doggone ring if he's not going to be present for the entirety of the story. As I stated prior, when I was angry about Cena turning heel and having Travis Scott involved in the moment, Travis Scott done came out and said to Triple H that he's a full-time wrestler now, or full-time active component to the WWE roster, whatever the case just so happens to be. If these motherfuckers ain't showing up week after week or numerous times within the month, please do not put them into these large, big-ass motherfucking stories. Especially if you're not gonna be active in ring. Logan Paul, that's a whole different situation, but you get matches here and there, so I guess I can accept it to a degree. But what The Rock been doing, where you just show up, no script, talk about Cody, I want your soul, Cena gives his soul to The Rock, and then we don't hear Cena acknowledge The Rock at all until this past Friday. What was the point? You sold your soul to The Rock, and what did The Rock do to ensure your victory? Send down Travis Scott? I heard Michael Cole on commentary say, well, was it The Rock who sent Travis Scott here? We saw nothing of The Rock. We heard nothing of The Rock. And The Rock, I can understand if you have other obligations, you gotta be in Hollywood or whatever the case just so happened to be. You could at least give an Instagram post, maybe go on a rant for about 10 minutes about how the Cody Crybabies is sitting here upset or something. Nothing from that bald goddamn bastard. It's getting ridiculous. I want justice for what we saw in the main event of WrestleMania, especially after last year's was an all-timer. This year was an all-time stinker. We got robbed, and I want my restitution. That's all I got to say about that. Y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all thought about the main event, because I thought it was utter bullshit of how they put the entire story together and we made it to this motherfucking conclusion. For John Cena's sake, you better put on a heel run of a lifetime upon your exit from the company, or this whole shit was a waste of our damn time. Hey, I appreciate you watching the entire video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the like button on the way out if you haven't already. And on top of that, hit that notification bell as well. For whatever reason, YouTube's only showing my videos to 20% of my subscribers. So if you have already turned on the notification bell, turn it off, turn it back on. If you never turn it on, turn it on. I appreciate you.